who SN is or SuperNova. They are a team that competed in Canada Nationals. They have been doing extremely well, and they've recently brought in a new player within the roster, and that would be Lackey. Lackey is, statistically speaking, one of the best players in Canada Nationals right now regarding his overall analytics. He has, I believe, the highest entry, the highest KD, and the highest overall rating out of any player that competed so far. Coming into this is going to be a really interesting matchup because you kind of have different personalities coming. You have a Faze clan who is a traditional lat AM team. You know, they have the aggressive playstyle versus an extremely unorthodox but extremely effective Canadian team. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how some of these playstyles clash and if maybe SuperNova can pull a rabbit out their hat and pull this match out.
Yeah, just a quick disclaimer for everybody. We did not know that the match started early. We were scheduled for 18:20. It is currently 17:47, so we apologize. Yeah. We did miss the first 2 rounds. It is 1-1. Talking about Faze real quick, we saw how they performed at the Raleigh Major. Cameraman, Mav, Yuna, Astro, and Ions, great players overall. I don't know much about what was the other team called? I'm sorry, I missed it when you said
SuperNova.
Yeah, SuperNova. I've heard of SuperNova. I have not seen a lot of their gameplay. I know LSG. I've seen Lackey before, seeing a lot of these guys in ranked, primarily for me. But obviously, good competitive players. They've gotten to this level. They've made it past the other BYOC teams to make it to this, to make it to the upper bracket, to play against, you know, some of the best teams in the world. Earlier today, we saw what?
He just shot his own teammate's drone.
Oh.
So, for those of you who are saying, oh, it's Faze Clan versus SuperNova, no, that is not the case. SuperNova just took, in a best-of-1 series, Rogue to overtime. Fortunately, they weren't able to close out that match. I mean, then again, it is Rogue, an extremely potent roster. And they are a team to be reckoned with. And speaking of being reckoned with, that's going to be Lackey tagging on Cameraman. That's going to be the Legion off the board. And that's going to be an extremely crucial kill because, well, no more goo mines for the remainder of the round. And this is going to force Faze to adapt as they're going to try and replace their shield and adjust their positioning.
Yeah, I was going to say that that's a huge pick in terms of the operators that Faze have brought. But they do still have Smoke and Maestro, the other 2 best suited operators for denying plant and wasting time for the attackers. Ion is getting droned out by the main staircase, and Sledge is going to push up, being played by Lackey, but he's going to lose the fight. Mav's going to pick up the kill, pushing from the study balcony. And now Jims looks like he's going to pick up a kill, and Vix is going to trade it back out. So this is a 2v2 scenario where they can still get the wall open. Mav and Yuna, do they have anything to deny the wall from being opened up? I don't think so. The only thing would be impacts from smoke, but they do not have it. So right now it's going to be up to Vix and Jims to try to figure out exactly where they can plant. They did just open up the back of the bar wall. And Jims is going to pick up another kill onto Yuna. Whoa. Just, you know, pushing in real quick. He could wallbang behind, but he won't be able to. And Mav is actually going to win that fight out, which is huge. And now Vix getting spotted out completely is going to get pre-fired by Mav. Unfortunate for him. They still had some kind of intel inside the site. Not sure what. It could have been a bulletproof camera. That's the only thing that comes to mind. Oh, the evil eye camera. That's what it was. It was the evil eye cam. So,
that was
moving into the 4th round, that was a very, you know, good defense by Faze. It kind of stalled out looking like for SuperNova. They didn't really seem to have much map control. Like, there was nothing in 90, nothing by red stairs. They really just kind of pushed from main stairs and study balk, and it was easy for Faze to predict that and collapse onto them, knowing which angles they need to hold.
It was honestly quite intriguing because typically when you associate teams trying to go for a study / main stairs push, trying to establish a bit more map control, be a little bit more precise, maybe get some vertical play along the way downstairs, but they refrained from doing that. They tried to pincer the 2 guys holding the top of main stairs. Unfortunately, did not win their gunfights. However, they ultimately ended up fragging them out anyways. They took the 1v1s they wanted, and they ultimately made it a 2v1 in their favor. Fortunately, Jims got a little bit ahead of himself and was taken out promptly, and Thermite wasn't able to win the gunfight. He was just constantly getting scammed.
You just can't, you know, you can't underrate how powerful a ping is in that scenario when you're low on time and you're an attacker, and then all of a sudden you start getting pinged, especially against a player like Mav, whose aim is superb, and his game sense, being able to understand his teammates' callouts and also read the pings, obviously, which is one of the most basic skills. If you start getting pinged in sight like that, you're probably done for in that scenario. Basically, when they know exactly where you're coming from, know exactly all of your, operator positioning, even in a 1v3 or 1v4, that's a big deal. So, Mav just proving that he deserves to wear the Faze banner.
Of course, most definitely. And wow, everyone is screaming right now.
Yeah, I can hear that. They must be watching the match too. I mean, it's exciting. I'm excited.
No, I'm definitely excited, and so are they apparently, even though I doubt they know what Siege is. But, we have a great game up in our hands, and I'm honestly excited. So, we are going to head back downstairs to Kitchen, where we're going to see FaZe Clan try and replicate a little bit more success than they saw. Yes, you can say, oh, they're on defense, and yeah, it's FaZe Clan versus SuperNova. But, I mean, in all reality, these rounds have been pretty close from what we've seen so far, and that's going to get the roam game being caught off guard. How is SuperNova going to react to this? Okay, LSJ trying to cut off rotations, but currently there is no attackers there to assist him to try and pincer anyone that would be residing upstairs by Trophy.
Yeah, Moe looks like he wants to walk through the trophy door, but he's obviously scared of getting flanked from balcony. This looks like a full team push coming out from SuperNova. They're definitely making their presence known, and FaZe are trying to hold off as long as possible. A nice pre-placed C4, or not necessarily pre-placed, but thrown up at just the right time, is going to catch Thermite off guard, but then LSG is going to catch Ion off guard. He's in a goo mine, though. He has to pull it out, but is nervous of getting pre-fired through the astronomy wall. Moe now pushing ahead. They need to take control of the top floor to adequately put pressure on the site below them. It's just going to depend on how long is, FaZe going to actually contest the top floor. Cameraman has already pulled off, which is smart. He's low on health, and he's playing Legion. He needs to stay alive as long as possible to throw as many goo mines as possible. Lackey is at low health, so this is a relatively even situation so far for both teams. But it's all about the time wasted that the defenders have actually, put into their favor. So what needs to happen here is SuperNova actually needs to create something in terms of moving the defenders from one site to another, either pinpointing where defenders are or trying to, isolate them and pick them off one at a time and trade out efficiently to actually get the diffuser planted, which doesn't seem like it's the case at the moment. Jim's is going to take a ton of damage, but then trade it back onto Astro. And now we're just going to see exactly what SuperNova have in store for us moving forward to the end of the round.
Yeah, so with 30 seconds left, they're still going to be trying to land some shots through the floor using the vertical angles established, but so far no luck panning out in front of them. Now that's going to be a beautiful shotgun right there from Sledge. Followed up, Jims gets taken out by Astro. 81 bullets, baby, and it's not looking so good. 1v4 LSG up against the clock and up against an absolute onslaught of players. However, he's able to get two and makes it a 1v2, but with no time left, it's just going to be a shotgun to face and finish it off, and that's going to be Mav. Closing things out, round number 4 going in favor of FaZe Clan.
Yeah, and we'll talk about this again. This is a defender-sided map.
Of course.
So we saw how defender-sided it was during TSM versus Sonics, but that was it's hard to attribute it to that sometimes because you could just say that TSM was the better team. In this case, I would have to say that FaZe is the better team and they are on defense. I would have to heavily favor them in this matchup particularly. And I think that this is the first time we're seeing Blackbeard on any of the maps that we did today, right?
I don't believe we've seen a Blackbeard so far. So Jims is predominantly a Blackbeard main in our reality from what I've seen him play.
All right.
But the way he plays it, it's like more of a Blackbeard to cut off rotation and essentially try and have players play into him. He's not like aggressive. It's not like he tries to take as many gunfights as he can. He's a really passive Blackbeard, and he likes playing angles. That way, if he does get challenged, he has an upheaval position to establish himself within.
Right.
And he really just makes himself a focal point for his other fellow teammates to try and work around him. So it's quite intriguing how they play. But again, that's their play style, and it's worked out for them in Canada Nationals. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get all the way through CL quals. However, nonetheless, this is definitely a team that has their unique play style, and I'm really interested to see how they can implement it against the Brazilian stronghold.
Yeah, typically we don't actually see Blackbeard being brought in usual attacking lineups at this level of play, but maybe there's something that they've been practicing that we don't fully know about. It's possible that Jims will be as effective as he can possibly be on the Blackbeard, given that he could lock down an angle and hold defenders and divide them in the site, or lock someone in a position to where the rest of his team can then come and finish him off, kind of thing. But he's going to have to be careful peeking with that shield. What I have noticed a lot with Blackbeard, recently anyway, is that when you do peek with Blackbeard, your shield is way further exposed than any other part of your body first. So effectively, the defenders can see you before you can see them, kind of thing. So he has to be careful and hopefully either catch defenders rotating, absent-mindedly, or get a quick punch on the window and just kind of pre-fire through to win that engagement. It's going to be interesting to see how he's implemented. But it looks like right now Faze, just kind of playing their game. They look very comfortable in terms of their positioning, and Mav is actually going to pick up a kill onto Maway. But LSG trades it right back. This seems to be LSG's, play style, just trading it right back whenever one of his teammates goes down. It's exactly what they need to keep themselves in this game at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a huge pick right there. Thatcher off the board. However, the impact trick is still nonetheless can be used to be effective. So it's not one of the worst picks, as there's really no deniability to try and get the wall, but it's still going to be a force to be reckoned with. Not being able to get rid of those Maestros a lot more effectively, considering Thatcher is obviously dead, and obviously those good mines that can come into play. However, there's still an IQ, so it's not the end of the world. You're still eligible to get any of those that would be residing within any destination that would be deemed.
Yeah, the next level play, honestly. Yeah, I was going to say the next level play, honestly,
like an entry point.
Right. Honestly, the next level play here would be Yuna moving a mute jammer to the wall. That would be the next level play, but instead he just takes it a whole nother level and gets a C4 over the wall. So, Thermite off the board, huge pick. And then another C4 coming out from Cameraman from below, taking out the Blackbeard. LSG is able to trade it out, but then Yuna trades it right back. Lackey now at the top of red stairs in a 1v2 scenario. He has time, no grenades left. He has to get the diffuser. Oh, he almost gets that kill as he's trying to run up the red stairs. But now instead, Mav is actually going to retreat all the way down. No, he's not. He's going to come back up and wait for Lackey. Lackey had to make a move there. It was either get the diffuser or get the pick, and he went for the pick. It's hard to tell, what the right answer is there, but whatever Faze is doing was correct overall. They won the round. 2 very well-placed C4s at just the right time, most likely in conjunction with either callouts or, maybe even some Mozzie drones that had been stolen and placed in certain positions that they want to use them. They can be very sneaky. Mozzie's a really powerful operator in the right hands, but not so easily mastered, if that makes sense, because of the amount of time it takes to move those drones. You have to choose your opportunities wisely, because the last thing you need is you're roaming with Mozzie, you capture a drone, you get on that camera to move the drone, and an IQ shoots you through the wall. So, you have to use your time management wisely and always be protected by your teammates in those scenarios. But obviously, whatever callouts, whatever camera placements they did have, because Valkyrie isn't being played by Faze at all, and, that seems to be a strange pick. Next time it goes to the operator selection screen, I definitely want to see what the bans are, because I remember seeing an Echo, I remember seeing a Jackal, I think Hibana is banned, and then I can't remember what the last ban is.
Not quite sure what the last ban is, but I mean, we were talking about last round is entry points that could have been utilized by the Goo Mines and try and been countered by the IQ, but before we could even see that happen, the feet were blown out right off their legs. The C4s coming from below, just not being able to establish control of that roam game that was present downstairs really did them in. 2 entry fraggers dying when the final take site was going to come down from C4s that just shouldn't have been there in the first place. In all reality, you should have downstairs control established when trying to take trophies, simply because that is such a great possibility. And knowing Faze Clan and simply watching it doesn't take a genius to figure it out. They love playing downstairs. They have statistically done it almost throughout their entire season of Pro League, BR6, and they did it at the Raleigh Major. So the fact that SN hasn't read into that is quite worrying, to be honest.
Well, I'm going to give SN some credit here. They've made it this far. I'm not counting them out, but what I'm saying is that there is a whole nother level of play that they are either gaining experience in right now or have had minimal experience before. And Faze is the kind of team that will find the holes in your attacks and or defenses if you're not a seasoned team and take advantage of it. And they are taking advantage of that. They're keeping that downstairs control and just biding their time and waiting. And we've seen it on a couple of attacks from SuperNova. They just have not been up to snuff in a way in the terms of they just haven't had the proper positioning at the right times, whether they gain it at one point or another. So as we can see right now, they have full control of 90. And nice pre-fire onto Doc. Did that down him? It had to have downed him. Yep, it did down him. So
is he going to res him up? Yes, he's going to res himself.
He's going to res himself. That shield is in such a good position to stop this. I just love how FaZe had the shield in a different position before, facing towards Study, and they readjusted it to watch towards 90. So they're anticipating these pushes and reading into them very well. Mav right now is just going to be challenging 90, trying to keep control of this hallway for as long as possible. That's a huge thorn in the attacker's side, because without control of that hallway, effectively, there's really no way for them to get in. Astro's going to be looking through the bottom of the reinforcement to get one kill, get a second. Now it's all up to now up to Jims, LSG, and Moe to try to make something happen here. They have less than a minute. Astro can be docked up if Mav wants to retreat from his position, but he most likely will not. That would be disadvantageous at the moment. So right now, Jims needs to get into the building and make something happen. Try to get a pick through a Mav hole or something. Just try to even up the man count and mount some kind of push, and with 30 seconds left, there isn't really much they can do. Ion's going to pick off one. Astro's going to pick off Moe on the top of red stairs. Now it's just Jims right outside. He's going to pick up one, picks up another, but is immediately traded back by Astro. Great positioning by FaZe and great adaptation on the fly to adapt to SuperNova's pushes. So they're, in a sense, at the moment, it seems like SuperNova's being outclassed, but now that they're switching to defense on a defender-sided map, it's possible that they'll have something we haven't seen before, something that'll catch FaZe off guard. What do you think in terms of like what should SuperNova be thinking going into these defensive rounds at the moment? What do you think?
Well, they got to have a positive mentality first. SuperNova is a team to at times crumble under pressure, and this could very well be one of those sentences. Now, you're on defense now. Look past your attack. FaZe Clan, they're looking pretty good right now, and SuperNova knows that. A 5-1 split is not so good when you're looking at attack. Yes, you can say it's defender-sided, and unfortunately we only got one round, but it's still not a favorable position and draw yourself within. And knowing how good FaZe Clan's on their attacks, it's going to be extremely worrying. However, if they want to make the necessary adaptations regarding what FaZe Clan's playstyle is like, they have to read into the fact that they have extremely convoluted pushes, okay? They're extremely coordinated, and they're extremely aggressive at their pushes. When they spot one person out, they're not going to give you room to breathe. They will immediately pressure you and try and frag you out the second you're spotted. And if you have anyone residing within the announcer's vicinity, that's most likely going to be LSG. He's going to have to try not to play into it. Now, he's able to get one drone, so that's already a failed drone economy for FaZe Clan. Ideally, people don't talk about drones that much at a ranked or even a semi-competitive level. But at a pro level, or even a DreamHack LAN level-wise, your goal during the prep phase is to set up drones in positions that would assist your roam clear. Once you lose one of those drones, you essentially fail the prep phase. You want to keep as many as possible in, and you want to have that used towards your arsenal. And trying to get rid of that drone phase, or that drone economy, is probably one of the best starts they could have had, because knowing how FaZe Clan plays, they're going to love their drones.
So FaZe here right now, using the IQ to gain as much intel as possible before they even enter the building, are going to do what looks like a 5-man study push. Probably, I would imagine somebody will rotate towards red stairs or 90 at some point. But Cameraman right now just seems content with watching the flank. See, these are the pre-placed drones we were talking about, knowing which angles are clear. Now they know that living room and library are both clear, so Cameraman can focus his attention further down the hallway towards the art room, and the hallway coming from art room and red stairs. And this is just kind of like small intel, but there's actually a camera here that IQ has not spotted. Bad IQ, Cameraman. You just got to look around, and looks like LSG is going to go for some kind of a flank here. As long as the callouts keep coming in, Cameraman just haphazardly walking around, staring at the ceiling, looking for any equipment or players he can shoot through the floor. We have seen this on multiple occasions from him, but LSG could seriously catch him off guard, and that's a huge issue. But Cameraman knows now he got the call out from one of his teammates and is going to win the fight. This is the coordination that FaZe bring to the table that SuperNova just might not quite be ready for it, as obviously the pre-placed drone is spotting another operator, and Mav is going to pinch him from the side in the hallway. Great control being taken by FaZe to lure SuperNova into positions where they can easily trade them out and have all the intel in the world when SuperNova has nothing.
And this is exactly what we were talking about regarding they give you no space to breathe. He was spotted out for around 1, maybe 2 seconds, and he was dead instantly. They give you no room to breathe. Once they spot you, they go at you and they attack you right from within. And that's 2 more gone for SuperNova, and it's all to Mayway, but it's not going to happen. Faze Clan wins round number 7 in a flawless fashion, and they're going to be on match point for map 1.
This is we're just seeing different levels of play. We're seeing, you know, pro team, super like S tier pro team Faze Clan goes to majors, goes to all sorts of lands, plays in BR6 and always places well, plays in LATAM Pro League, always places well, and then, you know, SuperNova. I'm not saying anything bad about SuperNova. I know that a lot of their players I know a lot of their players for the most part are good. I've played with them and against them. It is just there's different levels of communication and teamwork that pro players at that level put into their game, and we're seeing it firsthand right here. That last round was a perfect example of literally, like, you know, SuperNova season opening to flank, but in reality they're just playing into Faze's hand. Faze is fully prepared for this. They've seen this before, kind of thing. They know the positions they want to be in, and they know how to defend them appropriately once they're in those positions.
Experience. Like, you cannot undermine this Faze Clan roster. The core of this roster has literally been together since the first Invitational. So you're looking in this, and you're going in a Faze Clan who probably has more LAN experience than I think any other team in the world, simply because of BR6 has LAN literally every week. You're coming into this SuperNova. Yes, you may have a couple of experience, but it's just so uneven because a Faze Clan has so much utility and just has so many things they can use to assist them regarding preparation for matches. They have an extremely experienced coach. They have an analyst. They have a multitude of experience across the years and years playing at the highest level competition within Siege. And then you have SuperNova, who has none of their players have any pro experience. They have maybe a couple LAN experience. I do believe 2 of their players have LAN experience, if I'm not mistaken, from last year's BYOC. And I think there was a tournament in Toronto that they all attended, but I may be mistaken on that. I'm not quite certain. And you can really tell just from this, experience is just doing such huge amount of damage.
It's paying dividends on Faze's end. And then also, what I just want to say real quick to anybody to any team out there that might find yourself in a similar scenario as SuperNova right now, all you can do is learn from the experience and try to improve and focus on your mistakes. And, you know, things like having a coach and analyst definitely help Faze and put SuperNova at a disadvantage. Maybe they do have those things at their disposal, but not quite at the same level that Faze do. And it's just a level of patience that you see from Faze. Astro saw the Legion Mine come out. Instead of shooting it right away, he just stays on the drone. He's just waiting. All that he needs there for his team at the moment is intel. And look at this. This is like amazing drone work on top of that. Like, this is.
He had a drone up there?
I mean, he had to throw it up there. There's no way to get it up there otherwise.
Yeah.
So he throws the drone up there, and they just know exactly what's clear and what isn't. So with that intel given, not really seeing any of the defenders, they're looking for him. They can't quite find him. They have to assume that a lot of them are downstairs, and that they need to, you know, be careful of what's down below them. With more of the site getting opened up as Faze look for an execute, it's going to be very difficult for SuperNova to even figure out what they want to do next. But they are stalling out a little bit. I think that they're having trouble getting through the bar wall, and that might be both thermites gone, because I don't think I heard the exothermic charge actually explode.
I don't think it did, indeed, and that's going to be looking really good for SuperNova. I mean, this is exactly what they're looking for. Again, stall coming out, there's 43 seconds, and there's not a lot of map control and not a lot of stuff open in the site. They were able to get the intel, but what can Faze Clan do with that intel now, as they're not able to capitalize on the points that they've been opened up to? Now, trying to make his way onto the East Rappel, but unfortunately, if he goes to Rappel in here, he's going to get crossfired, and he's actually going to get ran out on. That's Mayway. Be able to get the first pick of the round with 20 seconds left. Followed up by an absolute flurry of kills coming up from Faze Clan. Ion lags one of the Vix. Astro lands one, and so does Yona. Yona now will try and refrag his fallen teammates, but last one alive will be LSG on the flank. Can he get the absolute... Oh no, cameraman!
With the flick.
Gets the flick on the end, and that is... Wow.
Yeah, cameraman with the flick. That was as good a round from SuperNova as I think that they could have hoped for. They denied so much from the attackers as much as they could, given their positioning. They stayed alive as long as they could. They even, went for some runouts and started picking people off. But once they actually got into engagements with Faze and Faze doubled up to trade out efficiently, they stood no chance. But that was I think I do have to give credit where credit is due because that was a great round played by SuperNova. I thought they were going to win it, but
I
based on the
honestly
time,
didn't think they
based
were
on the
going to win
time,
it,
yeah.
but Face Clan, they came in gunning. They were able to get the picks that were necessary, and unfortunately was not able to pan out in favor of SuperNova. However, we'll be heading on to map number 2, which I do believe is Bank. I might be mistaken on that. We have not been giving a sheet regarding the map bans. However, it is a possibility. Simply
Yeah,
because on
we
paper we should be going to Bank.
I'm gonna say this one more time because probably more people have come into the stream at this point, which I actually don't have pulled up because I had to start the clean feed so quickly. Um, we did not have a lot of notice for this match in particular. I've been talking about like didn't have a lot of notice for the tournament and like the way that we're commentating this, but we literally thought that this match was supposed to start at
40 minutes later.
18:20, which is 6:20 p.m. Eastern time. And it
It ended up starting
started
at
about
5:30.
yeah, and it started actually at 5:30. So I got home thinking that everything was cool, and I was, well, let's get the match ready, Hunter. Let's make sure that we're ready to do this. And then I was like, oh, the match is on. It's now. Like, and so then I just had to start up
Yeah.
the stream so that we could see as much of it as we could. I apologize for that inconvenience. Information was not relayed to me, but there's obviously disconnects on multiple levels when it comes to this kind of casting and stuff. But getting back into the match, we are going to see Consulate is what it seems like it's going to be. Faze Clan and SuperNova. I think I've seen SuperNova play on Consulate before. I don't know who picked what map.
They
We
have a
also
good
don't
record on
know the map
Consulate.
bans, but I also know that Faze is a very good Consulate team. I
I mean,
imagine that,
FaZe is honestly a really good everything team. I believe their strongest map right now is Clubhouse, if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to check my notes.
yeah, that wouldn't surprise
But
me. That wouldn't surprise me if Clubhouse
yeah.
was their strongest map.
Um as far as their weakest map goes, it's Cafe, which would be interesting if Supernova decided to take them there because Supernova isn't a team that decisively likes to run Cafe. I've seen them run it once and they lost on it, so it'd be quite interesting to
I
see if they decide to play it out. But I mean,
I think that when it comes to teams like Supernova and trying to take teams like FaZe to maps that they know that FaZe don't like to play, when it comes to FaZe, they've been a team for so long. It's not like they've never played on Cafe.
oh, of course.
So like that's kind of like if I'm Supernova, I want to take them to a map that we're confident on, not a team that FaZe isn't confident on. So in terms of like for example, during the Raleigh Major, TSM took G2 to Consulate. Consulate was one of the most banned maps that G2 had at their disposal, and TSM thought that they could go into it and have no problem, being confident on it. But because G2 has been a team for so long and they played so many matches on every map that's been in the map pool, they actually stood no chance. It's sort of
Yeah,
like that game of cat and mouse is like as Supernova, do we want to take them to a map that they're not confident on, or do we want to just try to take them on a map that we're are confident in? And I think that when it comes to situations like that, they have to choose, like Supernova has to choose the map that they think they can win, not the map that they think FaZe will lose. Does that
of
make sense?
course. Yeah, no, that makes complete sense. And I understand what you're saying. I mean, you use the TSM versus G2 an example, and you have to factor in that historically speaking, for as long as this game has been out, well, as long as Penta, now known as G2, has been at the top, Consulate was by far their strongest map. They were the best Consulate team in the world, and that was just pretty much undisputed. Now, you have to factor in the same with FaZe Clan. FaZe Clan doesn't have a definitive map, and they're like, oh, they're strongest on this map. We never want to take them there. We're always going to ban this. They are consistently strong at every single map within their pool. They played every single map at Raleigh, and the only one that they actually lost was Cafe. They won every single other map at least once. Because their map pool is so diverse, they're able to comfortably take any team to any map, really, and they will play just as well as they would on any other map. And that's one of the strong suits of FaZe Clan. And Supernova, unfortunately, just because of that experience, they won't have that. It doesn't matter how good of a team you are, it doesn't matter how good your coordination is, it doesn't matter who's on your team. If you don't have such a broad spectrum of knowledge when it comes to how to play the maps. Not like not necessarily like actually like playing maps in game, but like how to go through a map ban phase and how to go through not pick phase to try and affect the map, then it ultimately can do you in.
Yeah, and I just want to theorize real quick about potential operator bans. Um, you know, SuperNova here are going to have to try to ban things that are just annoying to them in general. They're starting on defense, which is what I saw in the chat. Hopefully, Handsome will switch it so that you know, or just have them switch sides, whatever is easier. Probably would be easier if just switch it in the menu because they already have the names put on each side. But like, do we see the Valk ban out of Faze? Do we see, Nomad or Gridlock being banned from SuperNova? I feel like, or Capital maybe.
You know
Not
what I
not
can potentially see being banned? I want to see Blackbeard can potentially come out as a ban from phase simply because Blackbeard is historically a strong operator take on Consulate, depending on how you decide to position him.
that's true. That's true.
And knowing that SuperNova loves their Blackbeard, I mean, it's could be a possibility. However, when you're looking at FaZe Clan, they didn't really rely on too many operators. They relied on intel. Now, depending on how comfortable SuperNova would be, I can honestly expect a Maestro ban coming out to try and thwart him out because Astro was just absolutely lethal. He just,
Mhm.
I don't think he lost a single gunfight on Maestro, if I'm not mistaken, in that match.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't
he
I didn't
was
I didn't
absolutely lethal.
I didn't get a chance to really look at the scoreboard. It just the match was so fast, or that map,
Yeah.
excuse me. That map was so fast that I wasn't really paying attention to the scoreboard. And it didn't look like there was any like standout performances other than Mav winning the 1v2, but yeah, obviously has his teammates giving him callouts. It wasn't like you know what I mean? It wasn't like the typical 1v2 where he has to rely on his gun skill and his game sense alone. It was a team effort from FaZe all around on multiple levels through
Of
multiple
course.
rounds. It wasn't just one of them going off. Like we've seen, I think we saw, well, I know that Mav for sure was one of the top rated players at the Raleigh Major.
He was. He
And
it was like 1.21, I think, was his overall rating, if I'm not mistaken.
was that his cost or was that like just overall?
No, that's overall rating.
Okay, okay.
That was his average rating across every single map they played, if I'm not mistaken. It was either that or it was 1.31. It was something like that. However, we will be getting into console, ladies and gentlemen. So, Supernova, they're going to opt to ban out Nomad, and that's honestly a key link to aggression. Now, Supernova, we saw the picks they were able to get were through aggression, so maybe if they play their cards correctly, having a Nomad being banned off the board, they can potentially use this map towards their advantage simply because there's so many windows and options to outright position yourself in spots that could get you an impact frag. Now, Captal getting banned off the board for FaZe Clan, no surprise there. I believe they have a 100% ban rate on Captal for this map, so
Okay. Yeah,
that's
and
simply a comfort ban.
these
That's
these are
not
these are some of the bands that we were talking about.
Mira.
Nomad,
Huh.
Capital, Mira is kind of
That's
weird.
interesting.
I
They did
personally,
not ban Mira on Consulate at all from what I've seen before. They banned Echo,
yep,
I think,
Valk band.
6 times, and
You
then they
know,
banned. Okay, this is interesting. So seeing a Mirror and a Valk ban, that leaves both Echo and Maestro up on the board, which is intriguing because FaZe Clan banned Echo 6 times on this map, and they have banned Mira instead, which I have no idea why, but I mean, it's obviously a calculated maneuver. And then you have Supernova that opts out to ban Valkyrie. We're talking about this aggression that could have been utilized, but they're going to decide to forfeit that and opt to ban out the intel. So
well, I mean,
it wasn't intel we were expecting.
three of the operators that we talked about before, Nomad, Capital, Valkyrie, all three of them banned. And you
Mm-hmm.
are right that the Mira ban doesn't make much sense to me. And like obviously we're both questioning it. In my opinion, Mira doesn't really serve a purpose on Consulate.
No, she doesn't.
Like
I
there's
don't think crucial
it's the
operator.
downstairs defense is the only defensive site where she even has places to safely play from a Mira. And even then, you might not even want her playing behind the Mira because she doesn't have an ACOG. They have to be placed so
Yeah,
far back. So
I guess
it's
like
interesting.
maybe the only way we've seen Mira be like utilized outside of Garage was we've seen G2 basically have a rug strat which, if you don't know what rug is, it's basically the middle lounge of the top floor bomb site. It's actually where Mayway is right now. And they would castle off yellow, they would castle off the southwest doorway connecting console, and then they would place a mirror looking into bathroom with a rotation. And then we saw another mirror that we placed by admin, and if they chose to repel them from the windows, they would have the rotation basically castled off. So they could rotate safely out if anyone decided to repel printer. However, that's not going to be utilized whatsoever simply because mirror is banned, obviously. Now, going on defense, Consulate is probably, in my opinion, the most balanced map in the game right now. It's truly almost 50. I believe it's a 51-49 split in favor of defense, which is the most minute detail that 1% can literally change at any time within this map. So
yeah,
it's not a lot to work off.
This to me. Consulate to me at this point in the way that the game is played, the operators that are available, this is the new Oregon to me. Like, Oregon used to be like not necessarily what I would consider a balanced map, but a very not necessarily a played out map either, but a great kill from LSG looking through the bullet holes. He's going to be looking towards the piano windows, looking for a second kill, knowing that the floor has been opened up, or excuse me, the window has been opened up. Can he win this fight? This is such a risky engagement for him to take, especially standing in the middle of the room. Going up against an upside down rappel is not the play, ladies and gentlemen. Going up against a upside down rappel is not the play. I repeat, you do not do that. That's a no-no.
Yeah, you shouldn't ever do that. I have no idea why I decided to go 4-on-3 man advantage. They were able to get the first blood of the round, but unfortunately they weren't able to do much with it. That's going to be Jims and LSG falling. That's going to be top 4 control completely forfeited. All defenders deciding to reside back downstairs, safe in sight by their home bomb site.
So like, let's talk about like Zofia getting picked off, right? So under different circumstances, Zofia getting picked off is a big kill because of all the utility that she brings to the table. But in terms of the situation that FaZe are actually in, they still have hard destruction with Buck, and they still have other things to burn through ADSs and to catch players off guard when it comes to gridlock. So right now, FaZe are in a great position. It's going to be up to Smoke throwing his smoke canisters efficiently, and Maestro using his Maestro cameras to try to soften up the attackers as they push in for the plant. Moe doesn't have a C4 anymore, so the defenders are getting starved for utility in a sense, but at the moment that doesn't matter.
3 smoke grenades left on the board, but Mayway's gonna fall. That's gonna be a 2K on the map, and unfortunately this is not looking so good for SuperNova. Gas canister should get thrown out ideally right about now, but he's gonna opt out to save them for some reason or another.
Yeah, he's been saving them. And now he's actually been taken down.
That's gonna be Cameraman peeking around the corner to finish it off, and unfortunately they were able to get first pick up the round, but they weren't able to get any after that. That's just gonna be the absolute cutout for FaZe Clan, and they're able to take round number 1.
Yeah, there wasn't much SuperNova could do, even under the time constraints that FaZe were in. The smoke canisters not getting thrown out, I would say, fast enough. That's just, he's waiting. It's like, it's a timing thing with Smoke. Smoke is a difficult operator to fully master. The shotgun's great. The SMG-11 is great. Don't get me wrong, those are great guns, but they're situational weapons. You can't just go willy-nilly challenging everything with it, and you want to stay alive because of your utility. I feel like if he would have thrown the smokes sooner, that maybe Moe doesn't get picked off. It's possible. I'm just trying to look for little things.
At the time when he threw it, he just got caught off guard because he overpeaked, and that should have never happened in the first place. Even, I do believe it's 10 seconds that it takes for a smoke grenade to fully dissipate. So you throw 1 at garage wall, you throw 1 at yellow, and you're already at 30 seconds. So you have just burned out an entire push. So you're going to make them, vault their way on into sight.
Rush,
you throw 1 more out there, it's going to be 10 seconds left, right? They are just going to go and push themselves into sight, and they're going to peek everything. You hold your angles from there, and they're able to maybe even close out the round. Although it's highly unlikely, it still increases your chances. The fact they waited until 17 seconds to throw out their smoke grenade, and then they got shot because it was so late, they were able to walk into sight by that time, it didn't really matter. So, fortunately, they're going to opt out to going back downstairs, and they're going to decide to go upstairs to console, and they're going to try and see if they can defend this with a little bit more success than this round.
So with FaZe bringing literally the exact same operator lineup that they just had to attack the downstairs, we're going to see how they use these operators to attack the upstairs, whether or not they're prepared for that. I'm sure that they are. I'm just saying that they obviously chose these operators either because these are the operators they always choose on attack on this map, which we have seen from some teams like Reciprocity on Coastline, always taking the same operators to attack. It doesn't matter what the site is. But this is a completely different map, so I just want to see, you know, what could be potentially be missing from Faze's push. They have to have, you know, ran this attack with these operators before, obviously. I would imagine that, you know, they're going to try to open up the projector wall, put someone on the balcony. Now, they already have admin control. Someone has to be downstairs making sure they don't get C4'd because Pulse is on the board. There's no way that they don't necessarily know that. Maway's trying to help out LSG and just give him as much support as possible, making sure he doesn't get caught with his pants down, aka with the Pulse scanner out. And LSG is actually going to be making his way up the Visa stairs from the bottom, just looking around, trying to find anybody on the Pulse scanner that he can take out. One drone does get spotted, and it will spot where LSG is playing. And Cameraman is going to aggressively take that position and throw track stingers to try to, you know, prevent any of the progress that Pulse wants to make underneath the attackers in admin. And now it's going to force him to make a rotation back. So this is good play from Faze, definitely putting the correct operator in the right location. Having the ability to open the floor with the shotgun and to potentially stop the flanking progress of SuperNova is huge. That's using that operator's utility as to the most effective tactical advantage. And now the plant looks like it's going to be going down from Ion right in the middle of the site. Not even trying to get to a default plant position, just planting right at the window, knowing how much space and time they have based on the information they've gathered. And now Ion going to vault right back out the window to safety, and it's going to be up to SuperNova to try to make something happen.
I am completely speechless after that. That is really poor defensive control coming out here from SuperNova, and unfortunately Mayway's going to be down. So it's a technical 2v4, make that a 5-on-1. But
the disrespect getting on the camera right after the kill.
Jim's going to peek this, but it's all but over at this point. He's going to peek around the corner. He's going to have taken right off. That's going to be a false round for FaZe Clan, and my oh my, looked like it was looking good for them. You know, they were able to get the input they needed, and it looked like they had a still firm grip on site, but that grip was slowly loosened, and unfortunately their palm was all wide open. The candy was taken from there, and unfortunately that's just not going to be a great way to start off map number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, if you were just tuning in, we previously saw Villa, and that was going into FaZe Clan by a score of 7-1. They were able to win that match out, and we did see a 1v2 clutch from Mav, but other than that, majority part were either flawless rounds or just rounds that looked heavily in the favor of FaZe Clan. However, you cannot undermine this SuperNova roster is still a very good team. And just because they've lost a couple rounds doesn't mean they're out of the fight yet. Do keep in mind that this is a really balanced map, and just because they don't get as many rounds on defense doesn't mean they can't replicate some success that they may or may not have on offense.
Yeah, SuperNova really need to tighten up their defense in terms of like where the plant went down. First off, the location that the diffuser was planted is an easy swing and a kill. It's an easy ping and a shotgun through the floor or something. Obviously, FaZe Clan was in position to stop any downstairs progress. They had full control of Visa, and then they switched their focus to the circle desk area. We saw them sitting outside, killing Jaeger. I can't remember who was playing him, but you know, the control that gets taken by FaZe Clan seems so rudimentary, but it means so much when they pay attention to such small details. So, you know, SuperNova are, once again, from the first 2 rounds anyway, just being outclassed.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we will head downstairs again, and hopefully we can see a little bit of a different iteration when it comes to how they decide to defend this. They were able to get the first blood of the round when we previously saw them defend the garage. However, they weren't able to do much with that from there. So let's see if they're able to make the adaptations that are necessary to try and close out this map and actually put it to map number 3. However, before we do that, we got 7 rounds to come back from. So, SuperNova against FaZe Clan. Round number 3, and so far Ion's going to spot out a lot of utility, and he's going to spot out the ally of that, so they're mostly going to make their way on into admin from here and try and throw out any grip that LSG has. Now he's going to get spotted out again, so they know where his position is currently being thrown. He's going to get shot up to around 1 HP, and he's going to decide to forfeit at this point. Getting wall banged through the wall, unfortunately, and he's just going to decide to forfeit all the way back down to site.
Yeah, he needs to get out of there quick. Faze had their sights trained on him, and they said we're gonna take this alibi off the board. They removed her from from her location that she wants to play. Oh, well, that wallbang almost could have taken out Cameraman. That would have been a huge kill in terms of just gaining some kind of advantage, because right now Faze are just moving quickly and they're trying to take control as fast as possible. Going to bring the Zofia around to open up that hallway castle barricade, I would imagine, but opting not to. Instead, actually, both impacts are. Is that both impacts expended?
I
right?
do believe that is both impacts expended and one concussion expended. Actually, defensive operator expended if he's able to land the shots. Fortunately, he's not able to. As of yet, Ion's going to enter connector. Will he be able to land the shots? Not quite yet. Jim's lit up to around 50 HP. He's able to take out the head of LSG, though, and that's going to be Jim's up against two pursuing attackers. He's able to land some shots, but he's not able to land a kill, and that's going to be two attacking operators of Faze lit up. That will be Mav on the Buck and Ion on the IQ. And
That's
top control firmly established in favor of Faze Clan. However, 2 minutes it took. Are they going to be able to use the time to their advantage this round? We still have a lot of utility when it comes to the Evil Eye cams and the smoke grenade.
Yeah, that's a heartbreaking death from Jims. He had the position and could have gotten at least a double or gotten another, but that was a good defensive setup from SuperNova because it was effectively pushing Faze into a choke point. They couldn't push the hallway, so they all had to push through one angle. Cameraman's going to pick up a kill onto Lackey, and with 20 seconds left, you know, it's looking good for SuperNova, but it's looking good for Faze too. They still have the huge man advantage. Mav and Ion are lit up to one shot each. Cameraman's going to pick up another kill onto Maway. Can Vix get the down on that, on the Thermite? No, he can. Cameraman's going to push in from behind and just clean it up for his team. That SuperNova are getting so close, but yet so far at the same time.
Second flawless round of this match. Well, not of this match, of this map, rather. I do believe fifth one, I want to say, so...
I haven't been keeping that close.
Neither have I. I've just seen it way too many times. I'm giving a mid guess, and
yeah,
SuperNova is just gonna try and play the fragging out game. They have it all lined up of ACOGs, just missing one, and that'll be Kaid, but they're gonna opt out, take the Legion instead. And at this point, it's not looking too good. Faze Clan is just looking so predominant, and they just look like an animal that they look like a rabid dog that hasn't had its rabies shot. They are just a whole different breed today.
If I was Faze Clan right now, based on the way things are going, and they're gonna obviously drone into the building and see that they're defending lobby, get a count on the operators that they're using, I wouldn't be surprised if they literally just Zofia the Evil Eyes at the circle desk if they're easy to spot, smoked, and just tried to go for a plant. Because there's no ADS. Like even if they take a full minute to open up the front door and decide this is what they want to do, Legion will have only been able to place maximum 4 traps if it's like timed perfectly. So,
you know, even then, those can get easily thwarted out. IQ are just gonna decide to waltz on a main door. It's even easier from that point because as long as you have the door closed, I mean, IQ can position herself any position in front of the door and just wallbang any gadgets that she sees. So.
Yeah,
depending on how Faze Clan size up them up, that could be an extreme possibility.
Oh no!
So I just want to point out, Astro came up with that spawn kill. He first introduced it back in year 2, season 1, where he stood on top of the desk.
Yeah.
And he just tried using Astro to kill Astro. I thought that was kind of ironic.
I mean, unfortunately, you know, I commend SuperNova for trying to go for spawn kills. Like, I'm not saying that it's bad. What I'm saying is that, like, it's a desperation. It's a desperate move from a team that don't know what they can really do to get to swing some momentum back in their favor. Obviously, FaZe aren't even taking any chances. They're just playing it out completely standard, not going for any kind of rushes or anything like that, even though it is technically possible with no Jaeger on the board. The Echo Drone is a problem, but like we said, IQ on the table. Maway is actually going to pick up a kill onto Cameraman. That's big. That's Gridlock off the board, so no smokes.
That's huge, actually. That's probably one of the most instrumental operators throughout this. I mean, Gridlock is so potent on this bomb site. Again, those smoke grenades not being able to get utilized, and on top of that, that's going to be all Gridlocks not being able to use. So Cameraman not being influential regarding any of his utility throughout this entire round. So this honestly could be a stepping stone for SuperNova. And what?
He just
Wait.
oh.
He just
So
walked
I
into the
think Jims jumped outside, went going for a kill, and Mav took it upon himself to just take that ground and cut him off as he was coming back in, and just happened to catch Legion in the exact same position.
Why would you not watch the garage though? You know it's open. Why are you watching the?
Who knows?
I-
I'm sure that there's lots of comms going on right now, and it's just it's a timing thing, and it's also a lack of experience thing that we've been talking about. We also saw one of the Echo drones getting destroyed. Vix is now going to be taken down by Mav as well, and Lackey trying to stop the plant from going down, but has no Echo drone available. At least it's in his pocket. He picked it back up, trying to save it from the IQ, but it's just not going to happen. Lackey trapped in the bathroom effectively right now, as Faze is going to surround the area that he's going to push out of. He's going to try to use as much of his utility as he can, but it's immediately grenaded. Another nade just comes soaring in. They're outside the front door. Are they in piano? I don't think they are. They're really just hanging out by the front door in circle desk. Mav with the shotgun out, waiting for him. Ion's going to get that kill onto Lackey as he peeks around the corner. Not much Lackey could do there. So you have to kind of feel for him. The anchor, the trapped anchor in the room with no way of getting out. It's, you know, you kind of have to feel for him there. He did as much as he could. He definitely wanted to protect his Echo drones by keeping them in his pocket to save him from the IQ. But it's just how well-oiled of a machine Faze look like at the moment that is just putting them ahead so far. It's there's really not much more to say about it. You know, I'm trying to delve into some more minute details.
Understand.
Yeah,
it's just
I'm trying to delve
your
into some.
and
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough on the side of SuperNova, but you know, there's nothing to be ashamed of here. This is, if you know, any team that isn't in Pro League or Challenger League were to go up against FaZe, I mean, would you really be upset that you lost?
No, most definitely not. Like, FaZe Clan is just such an absolute powerhouse. In my opinion, FaZe Clan is probably the best team in the history of Rainbow Six to have never won an international LAN.
Mm-hmm.
I genuinely can't name a team that I think would compete on their level, because they've been there. They've made to how many semifinals throughout Pro League LAN events and finals, but close but no cigar is the word. And honestly, some of these players on SuperNova have just been left in the absolute worst scenarios. Lackey was just a piece of grass in a field that was about to get ran over by a lawnmower. Like,
yeah,
there's really no recruiting at this point for SuperNova.
Also, like what I do want to see from SuperNova is I'd love to see them come back. I'd love to see them, you know, bring it into overtime, win a map. Like, I want to see it even win. If they were somehow able to rally back and win, and FaZe just, you know, like, just stopped playing well.
If SuperNova wins, I'll donate $100 to a charity of your child's choosing.
Oh no, and LSG going, I think that a different spawn kill from LSG in admin is just going to prove unfortunate. They're getting desperate. You see them just sitting by the windows trying to just pick off anybody that they can. A C4 does go out and take Unit down to very, very low health, but ultimately just not providing the impact that they need it to. They need that kill. They need him taken down, and they're trying to pressure this take from FaZe as effectively as possible, but they have to be careful, because at some point someone's going to come up from behind them, and if they're not covering each other efficiently, and see, like, this is the information we're talking about. They all have all the information in the world available to them, and you know, it's just so difficult for any team to fight against info like this. But Midway is going to take down onto Astro. He's going to shoot back towards Ion. Not quite getting it though. Still wasting a ton of time and being a real thorn in FaZe's side right now. This is looking really good for SuperNova.
Honestly, if they're able to continue this, I mean, time hasn't been one of their best strong suits. However, as we'd say, that's going to be Maestro off the board, and that's going to be a really damaging pick right there. Maestro not being able to use his Evil Eyes throughout the remainder of the round, and that's probably one of the worst picks you could have had. However, minute and 26 seconds left on the clock. There's still some time to work with, and there's still a lot of possibilities for SuperNova to try and outright bring this back. I mean, they're not a team to back down from a fight, and a fight is what they're going to try and get FaZe Clan right here. It's currently down to a score of 0-4. However, you know, there's always possibility of comeback, and Lackey's going to have some laid down into his chest, but Yuna has been let up to around 1 HP, so it is a possibility that if he lands one bullet into Yuna, that he's able to outright this.
Yeah, at the moment, FaZe Clan are kind of struggling to gain position, and you know, SuperNova are doing a very good job of staying alive and wasting as much time as possible. They've taken some very, very risky engagements. Midway is going to go for a flank here coming up Visa. I'd be very surprised if FaZe didn't have a drone there, and now they're breaking into the site and going to be going for the plant. Moe with the flank just a little bit too late. Does pick up that kill onto Mav, but it's all for nothing as Yuna will pick up the final kill onto Moe as he comes around the corner. FaZe Clan just looking too strong. Nice little one tap there.
Wow. FaZe Clan, oh my goodness. I mean, they are looking so strong right now. And yes, you can say that this is not one of the greatest matchups that you've seen, but like you can't deny how good FaZe is. Like, yes, you can't say they're playing SuperNova, but honestly, the way they've been playing throughout the entirety of tournaments in the past. I mean, they were just coming off a BR6 win, and they did relatively well at Raleigh. I mean, able to make it towards quarterfinals, where they were ultimately taken out by the eventual champions, and that would be Team Empire. They brought them to a third map, and they weren't able to close it out, but they definitely are contenders to try and outright win DreamHack. I mean, they are looking so strong, and if they win this matchup, do keep in mind, they will be playing TSM, and that's going to be that's going to be a great matchup, and I'm really excited if
that will be a huge match. I just want to talk about the last round for a second. You know, talking about the pressure that SuperNova was applying to FaZe as they were trying to take control of admin. As effective as it was, I did say before it even happened that if SuperNova aren't careful and they're not covering each other efficiently, someone from FaZe will come up behind them and get a kill. Meister gets taken off the board as Mav comes up the spiral staircase. They're just not, you know, like SuperNova's there. They have the idea of what they want to do. They have the idea of what they're trying to accomplish in these defensive rounds, and they're trying to execute it as a team. They're just not crossing their T's and dotting their I's. There are just certain things that are, you know, falling by the wayside that, you know, and these tiny mistakes are the things that FaZe Clan will exploit because of their experience and just how good they are. Lackey with a very risky pick, looking back out towards the spawn of police line. Could get his head taken off if he peeks at just the wrong time, but FaZe right now not really looking for the kill, just looking to open up and gain as much intel as possible. Moe downstairs in garage, trying to keep control of the bottom of piano, as it could be important for SuperNova to go for a C4 if the plant does get established inside of piano. But now they're just droning out the main lobby, looking around, trying to see exactly what's available to them, trying to gain as much control as possible. And actually the site's downstairs. I apologize. I thought the site was in the lobby, but it is actually all the way downstairs in the garage.
Speaking of what's going to be all the way downstairs, that looks like it's going to be winning this round, as they're going to have a hell of a storage to climb, as right now it's not looking so good for them. However, they're able to tag one onto Ion. That's going to be the IQ of the board. However, Yuna's going to tag one back onto Gems, and 4-on-4 ensues with one Dock Pistol getting expended. This can potentially go into the favor of SuperNova. However, we're going to have some punch holes that are coming out, and FaZe Clan is most likely going to read into this, and I can actually see Lack getting pre-fired in just a second.
I'm surprised that he's not going for bullet holes.
Yeah,
because I understand putting one punch hole to distract him, but see, like he gets, you know, LSG gets taken down as I'm not sure where he got taken out from, but
I have no idea.
Yeah, he was upstairs before, and now that the floor is getting opened up above Moe, he's going to pick up the kill onto Mav. That's a huge kill, being able to keep the wall closed pretty much, you know, fully, as Lackey is still upstairs in console. Moe gets whiffs a shot. Yeah, whiffs a shot, unfortunately, onto the attacker pushing into yellow stairs, even though he is Elid. Asher will pick up the kill, and they're actually in sight as cameraman drops down as well. Lackey has to figure out how to get back down, and so does Vix, as they're going to have to go for a potential retake. They have the weapons at their disposal to do it, as Lackey's going to make his way back down spiral stairs. Vix most likely going to go down yellow stairs. If they can mount some kind of a comeback, but they can't, it's just FaZe are just too good at covering their positions effectively and recognizing when they can and cannot push the site. So unfortunate for SuperNova, because I feel like they're literally, you know, I feel like they are playing well. It's just FaZe are a better team.
I mean, SuperNova, like, by all means, SuperNova isn't playing bad. Right? They're having a pretty good showing, and you can't say, oh yeah, they're down 0-6. What do you mean a good showing? Like, some of these rounds, although haven't been close man count-wise, you that SuperNova has an idea of what they want to do. Unfortunately, it just happens that FaZe Clan is just such a talented lineup. Like, you can't undermine them. Like
They're so organized. Like the way that
they're so coordinated. They know exactly what they're doing. It's that they're executing it. As you said, they're dotting their T's and I's. There's it. I don't even know how to describe it. It's such a beautiful showcase of Siege. FaZe Clan is just doing everything they want, and they're not getting stopped. It's just a little breeze in the wind, and they're just surfing their all way on into trying to play FaZe Clan, or sorry, play TSM in the winners bracket, and SuperNova most likely going to go up against Sonics. Now, do keep in mind, if you lose, you are not completely out. This is the group stage. If you happen to lose this matchup, you still have a chance to make it out, okay? You will be playing Sonics, and then if you happen to beat them, you will then play the loser of TSM versus FaZe Clan. And who knows? Maybe SuperNova can manage a comeback of the century and win. If that happens, my oh my, I will have a wonderful day on Twitter.
Well, at the moment, just what we're seeing out of FaZe Clan is something that, you know, a lot of pro-level teams have become better at over time is adaptability. Being able to adapt on the fly and reading into what the defenders are doing. And in that scenario, they didn't need to take the top floor control, as you see a lot of teams do. They got the one pick and they backed off, leaving Lackey in potentially no man's land. They just do not want to push if they don't have to. LSG is going to take a ton of damage from a C4 that got thrown towards the window inside of admin, which is a big deal. Ion's going to pick up a kill onto Lackey. That must have been, yep, coming up Visa stairs. So, you know, FaZe just looking in such good position right now, as I don't know what that Ash charge was used to get rid of, but I'm assuming that there's some kind of call out that makes it relevant.
I do believe there was a light shot in there, if I'm not mistaken. Now, ladies and gentlemen, map update. If you do not want to hear it, mute the stream right now. We will be spoiling a score. So, on the side of G2 versus BDS, Pengu versus Shaiko, quite a rivalry right there. G2 managed to take map number 1. However, on map number 2, they are currently down by a score of 0-2. And speaking of being down on map count, it looks like it's going to be a 7-0 right here and a 2-0 coming out for FaZe Clan. Mayway up against 3. Can he win it out to keep him alive in this matchup? Try and peek around the corner by Triple, but unfortunately he's not going to be able to land some shots by anyone residing there. He's going to be flanked, and that's going to be Cameraman Baby. Spots him through the lens, and he's going to take him out. GG, well played to FaZe Clan, and we will see you tomorrow to play TSM.
FaZe versus TSM tomorrow. Good game to SuperNova. I'm sure you guys had a, you know, great time so far. You still have a chance to, you know, get back into, get some more matches going. I think that, you know, FaZe just looking excellent, and there isn't much more to say about it. They just were the better team. But, you know, SuperNova, good game all around. I think that there's no shame in a loss to a team like FaZe, especially at this level of play.
They just seemed like they were just relaxing doing their thing. Like, I was playing ranked an hour ago with the FaZe Clan guys, and they were just chilling, having a good time. And they came in here, they showed up, they had a set plan in mind, and they executed it flawlessly. And that's going to be FaZe Clan winning 2-0. So I do believe that's going to do it from us today. We will be live again tomorrow. Rams and I, if you want to check us out on Twitter, it's Rams_1 and F. If you want to check out myself, it's HunterCashR6. Keep up with updates regarding everything Rainbow Six Siege related, especially DreamHack. That's going to do it from us, ladies and gentlemen. Rams, anything you'd like to say to close this out?
Yes, I will 100% be confirming the times of the matches before tomorrow, because today was correct at the start, and it some level of communication fell through. Obviously, it's, you know, so many matches being played. They're trying to get all the matches done and at an adequate pace. So I will be confirming 100% what time the matches are. I will be posting on Twitter when the matches will be. Hunter and myself will be back on the commentary tomorrow. And tomorrow, instead of us doing 2 matches, we will be doing 3. We will be doing the first one at as of right now 10:15 a.m. Eastern time, and then we will do the next match after that. There will be a break during the 3rd match, and then our final match of the day will be back on our channel. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you, everybody in the stream. Thank you, all the mods that have helped out. And thank you, FaZe and SuperNova, for playing and letting us commentate. And other than that,
DreamHack.
yeah,
One
thank you,
more
DreamHack.
thing,
I don't
if
really
you
have
would
anything
like
else
to
to
check
say.
out other matches that are going around the clock, currently on Razor's Talks channel, Space Station is playing against Rogue. If you would like to check that out, twitch.tv/Razor's Talks. That match is going on over there. The other side of things, Rainbow Six channel, the official Rainbow Six channel, twitch.tv/Rainbow Six. BDS is playing against G2, and if you've been in the scene for a while, you'll remember the infamous Season 6 matchup between them where Shaika was banned. So it's a little bit of rivalry right there. So if you want to tune in, go check out these that are going around the clock. That's going to do it from us today, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have a great night, and that'll do it from us.
Have a great one.